president's talking about is, however, there is a load of evidence that the Ukrainians created false information, that they were asked by the Obama White House to do it in January of 2016. Information he's never bothered to go read. There are affidavits that have been out there for 5 months that none of you have listened to about how there's a Ukrainian court finding that a particular individual illegally gave the Clinton campaign information. No one bothered to investigate that. Nobody cared about it. It's a court opinion in the Ukraine. The Ukrainians came to me. I didn't go to them. The Ukrainians came to me and said...
When did they first come to you?
November of 2016, they first came to me and they said, we have shocking evidence that the collusion that they claim happened in Russia, which didn't happen, happened in the Ukraine, and it happened with Hillary Clinton. George Soros was behind it. George Soros' company was funding it.
But you accept now that that's not true?
I accept that it is true. I can prove it. There are affidavits to prove that they were colluding with the Ukrainians, conspiring with the Ukrainians. There's a specific person in the DNC who was designated to get this information. There are 5 Ukrainian witnesses under oath saying it that are online, and if you had any regard for equal justice under the law, you would be looking for those. Well, let me ask the following question to anybody at home. If I changed the names of Joe Biden and Hunter Biden to Donald Trump and Donald Trump Jr., 8 million from Ukraine while under an investigation, 1.5 billion from China while negotiating with China, would I be sitting here? George, please let me finish my sentence.
But you just made...
I know it's a damaging sentence.
The 1.5 billion is simply not true. It is not true.
How do you know it's not true? Have you seen the documents?
We've seen what the fund that you're talking about was set up. Hunter Biden was on the advisory board. He wasn't an investor until 2017, and there's no evidence that they've gotten $1.5 billion.
There's evidence that they got $1 billion directly from China, specific date, 12 days after they returned from a trip to China. There's evidence that another $500 million went in, and there are 3 partners. Rosemont Seneca, that's Hunter Biden, and the stepson of the Secretary of State. The second partner is the Bank of China. And the third partner is a company called Thornton Group. And the principal of Thornton Group is
nationals? Have you ever talked to Chinese nationals about investigating Hunter Biden or Joe Biden?
Let me finish the sentence before you try to figure out what I might have done wrong in revealing this evidence that you're telling me isn't true, which I've seen. So the principles...
Well, others have counter evidence, and I'm responding with that
well,
counter.
then let's investigate it. Maybe I'm wrong.
Have you asked the Chinese to investigate that?
Can I finish what it is that? I haven't finished.
Okay, then answer
what
the
I would
question.
have asked them to investigate if I did. The 1.5 billion was in a company that was specially established called Bohai Harvest Rosemont Seneca, or some crazy name like that. The partners were Joe Biden's son, John Kerry's stepson, the Bank of China, 1/3 partner at least, and the Thornton Group that was owned by Whitey Bulger's nephew. Now, that's all out there. You can go look at it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It should be investigated.
And what Hunter Biden's lawyer said...
Did I ever ask the Chinese government? No. It's not my... If I did that, you could truly say I was investigating Joe Biden. I'm not investigating Joe Biden. I fell upon Joe Biden in investigating how the Ukrainians were conspiring with the Hillary Clinton campaign to turn over dirty information, including something for which a Ukrainian has already been convicted. So I have a very solid basis for doing it. I also support everything I say with affidavits. I have an affidavit here that's been online for 6 months that nobody bothered to read from the gentleman who was fired, Victor Shokin, the so-called corrupt prosecutor. The Biden people say that he wasn't investigating Hunter Biden at the time. He says under oath that he was.
But as you know, I know he says that under oath.
Oh, he must not be. We don't even know him. He must not be telling the truth.
We know that Vice President Biden was part of an international effort, was part of a government-wide effort to help push the prosecutor out because
the name here was Donald Trump and Donald Trump Jr., and it said that the president of the Ukraine asked me to resign due to pressure from the U.S. presidential administration. The truth is that I was forced out because I was leading a wide-ranging corruption probe into Burisma Holdings and Joe Biden's son. That's under oath by the prosecutor who was handling the case, who they say is corrupt. Now, a lot of prosecutors.
It's not just they who said he's corrupt. The European Union said he's corrupt. The entire U.S. administration.
Oh, they all said it. Anybody prove it?
That's why he was removed from office.
No, it wasn't. The reason he was removed from office was he resigned because the president forced him to resign. And then, just in case we want to deal with the corruption thing, I have another affidavit, this time from another Ukrainian prosecutor who says that the day after Biden strong-armed the president to remove Shokin, they show up in the prosecutor's office, lawyers for Hunter Biden show up in the prosecutor's office, and they give an apology for dissemination of false information.
I know.
And you know what the apology is for? For having gotten out the story that this guy was corrupt. Now, if you met this guy, he's not very good at corruption because he's very poor. Well, unlike the prosecutor who tanked the case on Biden, who's driving around in a Bentley.
Okay, you've gotten those charges out there. Let's talk.
No, I haven't gotten them out there.
No, you have gotten them out.
No, I haven't.
You just these are those affidavits.
Can I make a contrast? Can I just make a slight contrast with the so-called whistleblower? The whistleblower says, I don't have any direct knowledge. I just heard things. Up until 2 weeks before he did that, that wouldn't even have been a complaint. It would have been dismissed.
Those are from he heard things from White House officials, and everything in that that he said about the phone call is basically tracks the transcript that was revealed.
You know what he's wrong about? He says about the phone call that my meeting with Mr. Yermak was a direct result of the phone call. No, it wasn't. The meeting was set up 3 days before the phone call. It wasn't a direct result of the phone call. He said that he heard from numerous military people that I attempted to contact two individuals, Andrei Boldan and a fellow named Kononov. The simple fact is I never did. It's a total lie. I never would have contacted Andrei Boldan because I had been told by very, very good authorities that he's corrupt.
You said earlier...
And I shouldn't go near him. He said about 5 other things that are totally false.
And this is what the investigation.
And I'm not saying he was false. I'm saying he could have heard it wrong. That's why it's hearsay, because it's unreliable, inherently unreliable.
That's what the investigation.
Unlike him, please, can I just make my point?
You've been making your point.
No, I haven't. Unlike him, these are affidavits
from individuals who are implicated
Isn't that the way we prosecute crime? Would people implicated?
That will be part of the investigation that the House.
How about if I tell you over the next week 4 more of these will come out from 4 other prosecutors?
And they will all be investigated. Meantime,
no, George, they won't be, because they've been online for 6 months, and the Washington press will not accept the fact that Joe Biden may have done something.
If these are so serious,
if this were Donald Trump and Donald Trump Jr., I wouldn't be here having to do this. I am defending my client the best way I know how. This is not about getting Joe Biden in trouble. This is about proving that Donald Trump was framed by the Democrats.
Hello and welcome, fellow digital soldiers, to True Reporting. It is the 30th of September, and on today's podcast, we will be covering Hunter and Joe Biden and this whole Ukraine mess. With this long intro video that I put in there, Rudy Giuliani is really stepping up. We are seeing in real time, a war within our country against the rogue faction of the CA and the White Hat team in real time. We are obviously seeing this amped up very quickly since the whole CrowdStrike scenario popped into action, which was already part of the plan, correct? It's already part of the plan because 17 told us this a year ago, that these words would be coming into play and we would be seeing what we would be seeing. It's incredible, my friends, and today we were going to continue on with that. It's good to be back. Before we get into today's podcast, would you please welcome my sponsor, Noble Gold. Hi friends, Thomas from True Reporting here. I wanted to tell you about my sponsor, Noble Gold, and what their plans are for the month of September. For this month, they are giving away a 25% discount on their most popular combo package. the 10-ounce silver bullion bar, and the Trump 2020 coin. You can pick up both of these items together with a 25% discount when you go to TrumpCoin2020.com and type in the promo code TRUreporting25 to do it today and pick up an amazing gift. Thanks, guys, and enjoy the podcast. All right, guys, it's good to have you aboard. Before we get into today's podcast, would you please go ahead and click the notification bell so when I post to this channel, you'll be the first to know. Also, please go ahead and click that like button. The more likes that this video receives, the more times it is recommended to other viewers, thus more eyes on the truth. And with that being said, my friends, let's go ahead and hop into it. This is True Reporting. So from Zero Hedge, it says here, the Ukraine boomerang. Because their strategy to remove Trump from office by getting a special counsel appointed to find evidence to use for impeachment so utterly failed, Democrats frantically searched for the past several months trying to find something that could replace it. You're seeing this, right? I really hope that you're able to really witness what's taking place in real time. You're able to really see through the enemies, and you're able to see through who the patriots are. With these interviews coming out with Rudy Giuliani, with Mark Levine, you're really seeing people who care about our country and who are exposing the truth. And let's be honest, history is being written right now, but the plan has already taken place behind the scenes. We are seeing the deep state panic. The Mockingbird media is frantic. These people running for political office, all of these people they don't know what they're doing. They're panicking because they know that they lose in the end, and they're going to fight to the death, right? The only thing keeping us from getting to them is the Mockingbird media, keeping a vast majority of us still asleep, but we are waking up at a significant rate because of what happened with Epstein and now what is happening with CrowdStrike. This is huge, guys. You're basically seeing it unfold in real time. It is beautiful. It now seems Democrats think that they have last found a real scandal that they can use to move forward with impeachment hearings in the House. The new fake Trump scandal rolled out last weekend by the Democrats involves a phone call held on July 25th between President Trump and the newly installed president of Ukraine, Vladimir Zelensky. An anonymous government official described inaccurately as a whistleblower, which does not exist, made an official complaint to the Intelligence Community's Inspector General's office about some of the things Trump supposedly said during this call. According to the complaint that was filed, Trump tried to strong-arm Zelensky into agreeing to investigate former Vice President Joe Biden and his son Hunter Biden. Biden is currently the frontrunner and favorite to win the Democratic nomination to run against Trump next year. In my personal opinion, I believe it will be Elizabeth Warren, thus being a landslide win by Trump. I believe all these people are going to be exposed, especially Biden. I mean, he's going to be exposed for this. Their approval ratings are so low. They're bringing 300 people into their rallies while Trump is bringing in 25,000 to his rallies. It's unbelievable. I'm seeing in real time that there's a vast amount of people out there that really love our president, and I think it's just an optical illusion brought on by the MSM, showing us, that the approval ratings and the polls and so on and so forth, that there really is a huge mass of people that hate our president. I don't think it's that. Our president has a 53% approval rating. Trump always says, hey, you could add 10 to 15 points to that. That's a 70% approval rating of our country. That's massive. No other president has ever gotten that. So to think that someone's going to come in here and swoop in and win this is insanity, to say the least. It says here, to pressure Zelensky into agreeing to investigate the Bidens. The anonymous leaker claimed Trump threatened to withhold military aid that had already been approved to Ukraine. So what does the mainstream media always push? That Trump's a hard ass, right? That he's rude and he's yelling at people. Remember, they would always say that when when Sarah Huckabee was in there, they would bring this up that Trump was always yelling at his people, at his team, which is not true. So they're trying to push it in that direction that, hey, this Ukrainian president isn't going to give over information about Biden. So they're thinking, the deep state, MSM, is thinking that, hey, we got Trump this time, right? We're going to get this transcript of where he's screaming at this Ukrainian president, trying to strong arm him into, giving over information about Biden and Hunter Biden. But that wasn't the case. It was a setup. Do you see what I'm saying here, guys? Our president tricked these people into actually making a transcribed document. Getting a transcribed document and basically throwing them under the bus, right? He manipulated the deep state by them investigating and bringing about to the public this Ukrainian mess with Biden and Hunter. He duped them into bringing this into the public eye that we should investigate Hunter and Joe Biden. That's what he did. He's always 2 steps ahead of these people. It's amazingly done and obviously strategic. It says here, so if true, this would indeed be a huge scandal if a sitting president tried to coerce a foreign government into investigating or manufacturing a criminal probe of his political opposition. It is being reported that Representative Adam Schiff had the information from this so-called whistleblower complaint back in August, and he held it back while dropping vague, ominous hints. Failure to launch. Of course, as with a multitude of other fake attacks on Trump and his administration, this manufactured scandal started falling apart almost immediately. That's the way it was planned. They got the MSM to come in and bring out this transcription of Trump speaking with the Ukrainian president, thinking that he was actually strong-arming this Ukrainian president, when in actuality, it brings the facts to light that Hunter and Joe Biden are doing business with Ukraine and China for almost $2 billion. It's genius. Trump moved to quickly declassify both the transcript of the phone call and the in-quote whistleblower complaint, catching his enemies flat-footed with their pants down. It is already becoming apparent, now that both documents are public and everyone can read them, that the fake whistleblower complaint is replete with errors, mischaracterizations, and outright falsehoods. The same player in the Russiagate hoax were trying to launch a Ukrainian hoax using the exact same strategy. Vague leaks based on anonymous sources, so story after story could be rolled out in the fake news media alleging Trump's crimes. Only this strategy was instantly blown up this time, and in quite a savage fashion by this president. Trump now has his people in place, and all the evidence has been collected. He didn't need to wait to completely blow up this new Ukrainian narrative. This tells me Trump had his own counter-narrative already waiting to launch whenever the Democrats and their DNC media complex allies try this feudal Ukrainian gambit. He's 2 steps ahead of them, right? This is a fight within our country between the rogue CA and our white hat team. Fighting for our country, my friends. And unlike the fake Trump Ukrainian corruption narrative, the Biden Ukrainian corruption narrative isn't based on anonymous leaks from shadowy government officials speaking off the record while filing complaints full of second and third hand hearsay. It's based on solid evidence found in documents as well as a video and audio recordings. These people are stupid. Hey, who says that, right? What's Zero Hedge trying to tell us, huh? The launch of Spygate was successful back in 2016 because the plotters were in key positions within the federal government's law enforcement and intelligence agencies. Lying in wait as the Trump administration came into office, they held back the Steele dossier and used their media allies to leak selective allegations. This time, the new Trump Ukrainian strategy counted on the Trump administration hiding the phone call transcript in the filed complaint, giving the plotters in the media room a license to lie about what the document said. Somehow, these morons were led to believe the documents wouldn't be instantly declassified and placed in public square. You are getting preview right now of how the rollout of the Horowitz report and the results of the U.S. Attorneys John Durham and John Huber's investigations are going to go. One side will desperately leak bombshell stories based on anonymous sources, making all kinds of allegations, while the other side will be holding press conferences in which the DOJ officials will speak publicly on the record and proffering newly declassified documents for the public to read. Guess who's going to win that fight? Trump had to wait and hold fire for more than 2 years because he needed to give Jeff Sessions, Mike Pompeo, William Barr, Michael Horowitz, John Huber, and John Durham time to do their important work and collect and catalog all of the evidence. But we're past that stage now. You're about to see a presidential campaign unfold over the next year like nothing we've ever seen before. The DNC media will try to spin or bury Spygate news as it breaks over the next year that is damaging to itself and the Democrats. But here's how Trump is going to thwart this. Over 100 rallies he is going to hold between now and November 3rd, 2020. Trump knows exactly what buttons to push with the media. He's been carefully and diligently studying them for 50 years. The entire time they thought he was just being a swaggering macho blowhard. We got Trump now. Biden, Ukraine, quid pro quo scandal, the boomerang. They are all going to wish they had never tried this. And my friends, this is exactly what we're witnessing. We are witnessing history. This 2020 campaign is going to wake millions, if not billions of people up, because they are going to realize that the mainstream media, that these people, these Democrats, these big time players have lied to them the entire time. They have been swindled out of money, out of life. They have been dwindled down to not knowing what is up or what is down. My friends, this is going to be history in the making. This is the Great Awakening, right? This is the awakening of billions of people realizing, especially in America, there's a reason this is taking place in America, right? There's a reason Q happened in America, because we are the greatest country on earth. We have the greatest president to ever walk God's green earth. And my friends, it is going to be incredible. Just wait and see how it unfolds. Guys, I want to thank you all for sticking around. I've been sick for about 3 or 4 days. It's good to be back. And tonight we will have a live call-in show from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you stop by and check in, because we have a lot to talk about, guys. There's going to be media going on all day today. Big shout out to Mark Levin and also to Rudy Giuliani. These guys are stepping up, and it's beautiful to watch, guys. If you found this podcast informative and you enjoyed it, please subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on Twitter at TRUreporting. Don't forget to leave a like. You can donate to this channel and keep it afloat by going to my PayPal, my Patreon. We have a P.O. Box and TRUreporting merch. Guys, have a wonderful Monday. Take care of one another. Be loving to one another. And I will speak with you all tonight at 8 p.m. Have a great day. Bye-bye.